What up, nerds? I'm Jared, and this is Changelog News for the week of Monday, July 15th, 2024. Are you struggling to ship? Do you want to hear about others struggling even more? I got you. Kien is a video game for the Game Boy Advance that started development in 2002. It has finally been released. After 22 years, it now holds the record as the longest development journey in history. Sounds like the Duke Nukem Forever devs can finally sleep at night.
I'm looking for some alien toilet to park my bricks. Who's first?
Okay, let's get into the news. The 6 dumbest ideas in computer security. Can it still count as news if it was written in 2005? Let's check the conclusion and see if this one's still relevant. Quote, computer security is a field that has fallen far too deeply in love with the whiz-bang of the week and has forsaken common sense. Your job as a security practitioner is to question, if not outright challenge, the conventional wisdom and the status quo. After all, if the conventional wisdom was working, the rate of systems being compromised would be going down, wouldn't it? End quote. Well, I think we have our answer. Here's the 6 things with very brief explainers. Dumb idea number 1. Default permit, which is giving permission and asking for forgiveness. Dumb idea number 2. Enumerating badness, which is where you list out all the known bads and think you got it all covered. Dumb idea number 3. Penetrate and patch. This is where folks continually use new code to fix old holes. Dumb idea number 4. Hacking is cool, which is penetration testing. Dumb idea number 5. Educating users, which is a fool's errand. And dumb idea number 6. Action is better than inaction, which is where you end up doing dumb things. Follow the link in your chapter data and newsletter for full explainers, plus a couple of predictions that have aged like milk. This one is my favorite. Quote, my prediction is that the hacking is cool dumb idea will be a dead idea in the next 10 years. I'd like to fantasize that it will be replaced with its opposite idea. Good engineering is cool. But so far, there is no sign that's likely to happen. Story points are pointless. Measure cues. I knew I was going to like this piece by Barry Jones before I even clicked the link. Setting that confirmation bias aside for a moment, here's the hook. Quote, their creator has disavowed them. People cannot agree on what a story point even represents. The measure is different for every team that uses it. They sow confusion, create conflict, unreliable timelines, are easily gamed, demotivate, and degrade the performance of your team. For everyone involved, this is a waste of time. Let's deep dive into why story points are so broken and how to avoid dealing with them ever again. End quote. This is a detailed piece with a lot of strong arguments against story points, but it doesn't stop there. Barry also makes the argument for measuring cues instead. Quote, measured cues address short-term and long-term estimation issues, handle scope changes naturally, and provide a much more valuable exercise to larger teams while removing uncertainty from the team's initial plans. Measured cues also provide a leading indicator of problems 20 times faster than velocity or cycle time related metrics. End quote. If this sounds at all familiar to you, it might be echoes of our conversation with Lucas F. Costa called Product Development Structures as Systems. We touched on much of the same issues. That's worth a listen or re-listen if this topic interests you. A powerful HTTP client that lives in your terminal. Posting is an HTTP client not unlike Postman and Insomnia. As a TUI application, it can be used over SSH and enables efficient keyboard-centric workflows. Your requests are stored locally in simple YAML files, meaning they're easy to read and version control. End quote. This looks excellent. It's built with textual, which we've talked about on the show a couple of times, and that means you can install it with pipex. Check your chapter image to see what it looks like and give it a try. Link in the newsletter. It's now time for sponsored news. Instant branching for Postgres. We create branches in our code all the time, but what if we could branch our database just as easily? Thanks to Neon, that's actually a thing. Branch your data with a single click or API call, and their copy on write technology makes it happen instantaneously and cost effectively. This is great for dev, but also for easily rolling out preview environments with up-to-date copies of your production data. Don't take my word for it. Try branching in your project by following the link in your chapter data and newsletter. And thank you to Neon for sponsoring Changelog News. es-tookit is a major upgrade to Lodash. es-tookit is a state-of-the-art, high-performance JavaScript utility library with a small bundle size and strong type annotations. End quote. Thanks to built-in tree shaking support, es-tookit bundles down 97% further than Lodash. It also has built-in TypeScript support, if you're into that kind of thing.
I don't even know what this is. This sort of thing ain't my bag, baby.
Boasts 100% test coverage and achieves 2 to 3x better performance in modern JavaScript environments. This looks like a no-brainer swap out if you're still using Lodash or, God forbid, underscore for your utility function needs. Going fast, slowly. Varnish creator Poul-Henning Kamp, or PHK for short, reflects on 10 years of working on the HTTP cache and the accumulated 150,000 lines of code in the repository. Quote, Varnish has been in existence for 10 years, so that's 15,000 lines per year. 200 workdays a year makes that 75 lines a day. 7.5 hours of work per day gives 10 lines per hour. Even though I have written the vast majority of the source code, Varnish is far from a one-person project. I have no way to estimate the average number of full-time persons over the last 10 years, so let's pick the worst case and say that only 2 persons were full-time. It follows that there is no way average output of those 2 persons exceeded 5 lines per hour measured over the 10 years history of the project. Does that number seem low or high to you? End quote. It surprised me at first, but I knew very little about the project and nothing of its makers prior to this post. Then I read this, quote, I was 40 years old when I started Varnish, and I had 22 years of professional experience, a lot of them staring at and often fixing / improving / refactoring other people's source code. End quote. Surprise deleted. PHK gets it. I've been saying this since 2010. If you want to move faster, you have to slow down. That's the news for now, but I leave you with a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which PHK quoted in his Varnish post. Perfection is attained not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing more to remove. Have a great week. Leave us a 5-star review if you dig our work. And I'll talk to you again real soon.